Okay, rulers, settle down. Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to get pre-orders of all the upcoming Force of Will sets, as well as releases of previous sets after they come out. ccgprime.com with over 100,000 Force of Will singles, as well as out-of-print boxes from the past, and TCG accessories, as well as fowlibrary.com, a wonderful resource for deck lists, article discussions, and more. Check them out at fowlibrary.com, as well as these amazing patrons. Special thanks to guest lecturer patrons Shukong Fu, Vite Ramen, and Maxime Van He. Thank you for your support. Class is in session.
Read the part about no magic stone music, Leon. Wow.
Hey there, rulers! Welcome back after a long week of Force of Will to your favorite ever live Force of Will podcast. It's office hours, this time, finally, with everyone here! Yay! Yay! We're all in the same room together.
Virtually.
Finally.
Finally, virtually. We're here. We're here to talk about Force of Will, and we're so glad you're here. If you like what we do, want to consider supporting us, you can go ahead and click that join button down below, as well as subscribe if you haven't already. Joining helps to go support the channel financially and gets us to do all kinds of cool things like like events or new equipment and everything else, just things to help us improve. And we'll get to a little bit of that in a little bit. Also, coming soon, gifting of memberships. That's coming down the line. So be on the lookout for that coming soon. I'm very excited to be able to enable that soon. So if you're in the gifting mood and you want to help grow the tutelage here at Ruler School, you can gift memberships coming soon. So be on the lookout for that. But we are here to talk about, last week we talked about the ban list, and still no one proved me wrong that the ban list is straight fire. So I'm going to just stand by that statement forever. And now we are going to talk about upcoming events, as well as, just kind of talking about the Wanderer meta, now that we've kind of been seeing some trends in testing and what people are kind of talking about. And so we'll talk about some interesting opportunities, or great opportunities for you to get into the Wanderer environment here coming up, as well as some wonderful opportunities later this year. And then we're going to go from there to kind of talk about our thoughts as we go into those events, things that we might be looking at, kind of directions we think you should be going, and cards you should definitely be aware of and mindful of in your building, or that might be built against you. So first things first, guys, I heard you like Discord tournaments. Do you like Discord tournaments?
I do enjoy myself a good Discord tournament every so often.
Yeah. Paul, do you
pretty
like
grid.
do you like Discord tournaments? Well,
They're pretty grid.
Ruler School is hosting one, baby, in the next couple
Oh
weeks.
my gosh.
June 18th, there is a link in the description below to the Google form to get signed up. We are hosting...
This is the first time I have heard of this.
I've never heard of anything like this in my entire life.
We are hosting a Game of Gods case split tournament in the Wanderer format with the new ban list on June 18th of this month. June 18th, and Top Cut will be the 19th. It's $30 entry, and it's going to help raise funds for some very secret surprises that I have in mind for FOW Festival later this year. But what it is going to be is guaranteed half a case regardless of attendance. And once we get to 20 players, it will go up to being the full case split. So sealed case of Game of Gods Revolution up for
better
grabs.
join in.
You got to get joined in. There's the form in the Discord down below to get signed up for that. We can take entries and deck lists up until midnight. I think I said 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 17th, which is the Friday. Really hope to see you all there. Get signed up for that and have your chance of, possibly walking away with 2 boxes for $30. I mean, seems decent. And then also it's a wonderful opportunity for you to prepare for the first in-person GP of the season in Minnesota.
We love Minnesota.
Yeah, we're going back to Minnesota, and new venue, and I've been told it's a much cooler venue this time around. It's definitely more in the heart of downtown, not in that hotel that we were in that one time.
Hey, I got an invite at that hotel.
Hey, that hotel was pretty cool. But this is a different. It's cramped.
The hotel?
This is less cramped.
It was not the hotel, actually.
Yeah. You did not
want
to. You went at the ballroom. You went at the ballroom.
The ballroom.
Yes.
So I remember the little hotel though.
Yeah, the little hotel was
there.
It was tiny place. We're doing it in a much better place this time around. Very excited for that. I'm gonna have lots of cool events there. You know, cash on the line. It is the weekend of July 22nd, 23rd. Out in Minnesota, so you should go check that out. You do get, I think you get all of the promos of the season, and if you top cut, you get both number 13 and Necronomicon Barrier. Let me double check. Going on.
The hotel burnt down?
Whoa! Geez.
Oh my god!
Well, that's
no way.
Lesson to us. That's very sad.
It's really sad.
Yeah, stop playing Force of Will so well, guys. You're burning down hotels.
You're burning down hotels. Okay. Yeah,
You're
so
burning
it is.
Stop playing red decks. You can't set
July,
fire.
July 23rd and 24th.
Turn off your hologram imaging system.
July 23rd, 24th in Northfield, Minnesota. It is going to be, you literally get both of the Angels of all of the duets, Dark Alice and the Moonshade, just for showing up. Top 32 players get Necronomicon Barrier and number 13 Anti-Magic. Still the Nyarlathoteps for the top pricing first, and then it's a $500 cash split to top 4. So cash on the line, cool event. It was not there in November. That is correct. So that's gonna be awesome. Really hope to see you all there. We have already booked our ticket and our plane tickets and our hotels to go there to stream. Very excited for that. But there's no registration sign up for that yet. Once we have that, we will definitely share that out for people. And then, like I said, you can use the Drive link down below to sign up for our June 18th Discord webcam tournament in Wanderer. And then we got one more event. And it's not even in this current format because there's got to be one more ban list and a lot more product released between now and then, which is November 5th and 6th in Kalamazoo, Michigan at the Radisson Hotel is Ruler School Force of Will Festival 2, the second Force of Will Festival. We back with a vengeance. You can go ahead and check the link in the description to go to that, but I want to break down everything here we have going on. So first off, Force of Will Festival 2 is happening in a wonderful, wonderful ballroom at the Kalamazoo Hotel in the Radisson in Kalamazoo. So beautiful hotel. Venue is on site, or rooms available right on site. Currently, there's information in the Facebook group talks about how to call the Radisson to get the special booked room rate of only $149 a night for a room at the venue where the event is taking place. It's a very, very nice hotel. So go ahead and check that out. But let's talk about it. There are 3 entry levels just for people who are going to get in. So with the $45 base entry, you're going to get 10 base promos, a random willpower reward ruler, a random Japanese ruler, and a random Force of Will playmat from sometime in Force of Will's history. It's $45 just for showing up. That's what you get. At the
a lot of stuff for $45, Jeremy.
I know. At the $60 entry level, so that's only $15 more, you get all of the stuff from the $45 level, and you get a random Japanese textless dual stone. Just 15 more bucks. And then at $100, you get everything from both of those tiers, plus a random top 8 gold Uber promo from either from Valhalla Ruler Season or Rhea Cluster. Just for showing up. You top 8'd. Just for showing up.
I feel like we're spoiling them.
We are, for sure.
I think y'all deserve it.
Also, huge thanks to CCG Prime for helping us out with getting all of that pricing.
Thank you,
just for showing up,
Dan.
as well as huge
Y'all
thanks to
deserve it.
Odyssey Games for helping us secure the venue and the staff for the event. Vite Ramen, huge thanks, because Vite Ramen is putting up $1,000 of cash to top 8. Cold hard.
Of course they are.
Cold hard cash. We got $1,000 of it.
Cold hard ramen noodles.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So pricing breakdown is a
Protein
guaranteed.
rich.
Force of Will Festival 1, we did end up giving the $1,000 of cash away, but we started out as being a $500 based on, $500 cash guarantee. Right out the gate tonight, we are $1,000 cash guaranteed to Top Cut, thanks to Vite Ramen. Now, here's where the pricing breakdown gets even crazier. Top 64. We're placing down to top 64. You get a random judge promo or Japanese Uber. Uber ruler. Plus another packet of bonus promos. At top 32, you throw in a regular Uber of a ruler, random. At 9th through 16th, you get a random acrylic prize ruler, like acrylic ruler, plus the Ruler School FowFest 2 top 16 playmat. At 5th through 8th, your acrylic gets upgraded to a bronze. You get an extra pack. You get a pack of Ruler School sleeves, and you get the top 8 Ruler School playmat. At 4th place, your bronze becomes a silver. At 3rd place, you get a bronze and a silver. At 2nd place, you get an acrylic, a bronze, and a silver. And at 1st place, you get an acrylic, bronze, silver, and gold, plus the championship mat. And your portion of the cash. And that's all what I have publicly known.
Jeremy's got his trade secrets. Like how he's getting all the stuff ahead of time.
Shush. I have plans. They are good plans, and they are well worth your time. So, what if you can't show up? I think that if you can't show up, because I'm not solely responsible for this event. It is a partnership between myself, Odyssey Games, and CCG Prime. I can talk to them about how comfortable they feel about if registering but can't come. Because we understand that sometimes travel is crazy, but also we appreciate, people being willing to contribute to the funding of this awesome project. I'd have to get their say to see how they feel comfortable about it. Because ultimately, us at Ruler School, the entity that is Ruler School, as much as we are hosting FowFest 2, as of right now, we will be making $0 off of this event because of our partnerships with CCG Prime and Odyssey Games and all of the wonderful work they're doing. We are just trying to put it on, and we are making sure that our business partners are being well compensated for their effort in this. So because it's more towards them, I'd want to get their buy-in. I don't just want to say, oh yeah, sure, take pricing away from people who would show up, but I will follow up on that and ask. Vampire cold flipping emerald. I don't know what that means, but okay. Hey man, is the Discord event also New Frontiers or Wanderer? It is going to be Wanderer.
We love Wanderer.
The Discord is going to be Wanderer format. So I will follow that up with Dan and Elliot this week, and I will post here on the channel confirmation one way or the other. Obviously, we would prefer for people to travel, and you might have to wait to get your entry registration promos until after the event, because again, we might try to preference people's random random Ubers and stuff to those people who showed up versus not. I feel like that's a fair shake. But we have it set up right now in the registration for the number of slots, and you can register right now actually down in the link to Odyssey's website down below. We have it set up right now so that once all the tickets that are on their website sell out, we still have more than enough promos to cover all of those tickets, so we can expand it from there. But that's the state of things right now. Great questions. So you don't need to place to get any of the stuff up to the $100. Correct. Pay $100, get 10 promos, a random willpower reward ruler, a random Japanese ruler, a random playmat, a random textless dual stone, and a random top 8 gold Uber. Plus any surprises that I might have. Because I make it worth your time.
That means he has surprises.
I do have surprises.
So
Yeah,
there is a surprise.
Good.
I have surprises. So yeah, you don't need to place at all. You can literally go OX or
You can bring
OX
pregnancy
drop.
K and go X drop.
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
fine.
You absolutely can, for sure.
I really hope
We are hoping to get the venue space can hold over 200 people. We are really hoping to get a crowd of over 100 for this event. I think it'll be an absolute blast. We've already been told that there are people who are going to be traveling very long distances to come to this event. So like it's truly trying to be designed to be a festival. It's a party. Like
Is it a party? The questions.
coins are very coins are
Coins are very surprising.
Coins are very surprising.
We agree.
I agree. Surprise is the OG fingerless gloves.
Yo,
Everyone gets the gloves.
I legitimately. So here's the thing. So for those of you who might not know, this came up on my Facebook memories a few weeks ago. I legitimately sold the original gloves to a fan of the channel to give to his brother as a gift. So like there is video of the guy, like I made it into a nice little shadow box and I like signed it. It was very cool to see that video pop up on my timeline again. So like I don't even own the OG gloves anymore.
that's so sad.
I just own the green ones, not the
They're an
red ones.
NFT now.
They are in fact an NFT.
The Foul Fest is in November for sure. It is November 5th and 6th. First place gets to wear the gloves until the next fest.
Yeah.
Oof, that's really.
I mean,
that's a lot. That is.
It's
a
like
lot.
a championship belt, except they're championship gloves.
gauntlets.
The championship.
Wait, can we get gold gloves?
Bounty gauntlet.
Can I I should get a custom set of them in gold made.
Can we get a gold, a silver, and a bronze one?
The Infinity
So
gloves.
The Infinity gloves.
Do it.
The Infinity. But yeah, this is.
Do it.
This is. If you thought Foul Fest 1 was a big deal, Foul Fest 2 is going to blow you out of the water. Like, we have so many things planned.
Wait, Jeremy, for the Infinity Gauntlet, would it be like a little tiny yellow, tiny red, a little tiny blue, a very large purple, and extremely large green on the thumb?
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we have a lot of surprises. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It will be Wanderer format. We're gonna have side events. We're gonna have winner boxes. We're gonna have a vendor. We're going to have a vendor on site. CCG Prime is going to be vending singles and sealed products. It's going to be absolutely amazing. The only downside is that you won't be able to have food in the venue because that's just kind of the rule of the hotel. But also Kalamazoo has just like some really, really, really good food. And there's also some insanely good restaurants in the hotel because it's like a business complex right in the heart of downtown Kalamazoo. So like I said, and we are literally going to be in their main ballroom. Like,
yes,
it's going to be fantastic.
There are good bars and
Absolutely.
grills. Good.
Yeah. Say less, Paul.
There's good bars.
Yeah. So absolutely think. And again, like I said, it's going to be, there's hotel on site, $149 a night. Rooms can fit up to 5 people. So go for it. And if you call them and the rooms are all booked, they can open up more rooms for us in the slot. So no reason to not just stay.
Rustin asking how the drinks are. It's Midwest bars, man. You're gonna get somebody giving you a really nice craft. Be like, oh, hey there, man. Here, let me get you a nice little craft brew.
Min, we would be honored to have you come over for Foul Fest in November. We would be honored. If you decided to come, but also you think you're going to play in June 18th on my webcam tournament? Absolutely, play in my webcam tournament because the more I do think you can bring in like water and stuff, Rustin. That's not a problem.
I hope so.
You just can't bring in food. The more people who participate in the case split tournaments, the more fun things I can do for Foul Fest, because that's kind of the whole point. You can actually see they're right there. 2 cases of
In the shadows.
2 cases of Game of Gods Revolutions. So yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm very excited. It's gonna be post hero cluster, probably post whatever this Wanderer supplemental set is, which means also post one more ban list.
Hey,
So like
that's pretty good.
that's gonna be awesome. It's also gonna be post the Caseyville GP, so it will also kind of already be a known meta as well, which is also very enticing too, because you can come in like ready to just have a fun time. But also, let me be very, very clear. Even if you don't show up to win, you will walk away from the event absolutely happy that you came. Like, it will be fantastic. So
Goal is that everybody wins, but some people win more than others.
Yeah. Like,
Yes.
there's if you haven't watched my Magic players going in on Force of Will video, I described the Force of Will community, Force of Will people as a community that competes rather than a competing community. And Fowfest 2 is the absolute embodiment of that. It is designed to be, let's all come and love Force of Will together, but also be at a tournament rather than let's show up to try to beat each other at a tournament.
Remember, everybody gets participation trophies. This is the year of our Lord and Savior. But also at the same time, the participation trophies
are
really nice. Yeah.
Insane. So yeah. But with that, that's all that we have in terms of current information for upcoming events. Although I will say, if you are in the Michigan area or like Illinois, Ohio, and you feel like it, July 7th at Odyssey Games, we're doing an in-person case split tournament. And that event is going to be Wanderer format with full proxy allowance. So at my store in person, you literally can proxy any deck and play Wanderer format in a case split event.
Can I play OG Charizard?
I mean, it's not a legal foul deck, so you would probably get a like game match loss, probably a DQ, but like I guess.
But proxies are allowed, sure.
Yeah, proxies of Force of Will, not proxies of any game you want. So
man.
There you go. But speaking of tournaments, let's talk about it. So we are now. I will say we are past the shock and awe conversation of the ban list, and we are into people finally starting to grind and kind of do their testing and seeing kind of what things are shaping up to be like. So, yeah, we need to talk about kinds of what things to be expecting in terms of what decks are kind of suddenly being good, how the meta has shifted because of the ban list, cards to think about, that kind of stuff. Can I run more as one copy in my Zeus? No, that's breaking the rules. Like, that's breaking the rules of the game. What I'm saying is you're allowed to.
You are more than welcome to play 4 Zeus Enters the Game of Gods. That's fine.
True. You may play 4 Zeus Enters the Games of Gods in your Zeus deck. Can you Ash Blossom your opponent? Again, not foul.
Dude, Lorite exists in this game. You don't even have to. You have a better Ash Blossom.
Proxy, a
use
200
2 of those.
Again, I mean, proxy a 200 card Typhon control deck for it. Go for it. If you want to show up to my locals and play that in July, go for it.
Remember, if your Typhon deck isn't at least 1,000 cards and you have to like carry it around in a big old stack,
you're doing it
wrong. It ain't worth playing.
Yeah, for sure. That's wrong, but okay. So let's talk about what we're already seeing. From what I've been noticing already is that in my sessions is that the ban list appears to be having its intended effect. In terms of shifting where the lethals are. I'm finding that in terms of a deck that's able to find a consistent lethal with my opponent having their head in their hands is happening on turn 3. And then through interaction and like actually jamming a game, my averages have been being, and this is me playing mostly Zeus, I would argue, but also like I've been jamming some games with Athenia, is like 4 or 5. So like we're getting back to like not just a field of kill you in 2 seconds, which is nice, which is really nice because that to me is the intended effect of the ban list, and it also super opens up Wanderer to be able to play a lot of cool stuff. That being said, there are still cheese strats that exist, but those cheese strats were already bad, like, and they just continue to be bad. So like, okay, You know what I mean? There's definitely some silly stuff that you can do, but I would say that it's bad. So, Paul, your locals, can we have increased audio during streams? Are we
I don't know
pretty,
what that means.
are you wanting like us to be louder? Cause I feel like we're pretty loud. I can bump my volume up a little bit. I don't want it to be kind of like bursty. If you
You're
want
saying
What
you
if I
need
talk
the
like
immersion.
this?
if you're talking about like during GP streams, do you need us to be louder?
Need
We
like
haven't had the table to be louder.
Yeah, the background chatter, the immersion,
Yeah,
perhaps,
which
is
we
maybe
can.
what
I
you're
mean,
talking
yeah,
about.
maybe. Okay, so Paul, your locals has been playing Wanderer. I'm still trying to get my locals to play Wanderer, hence a full proxy
Yes.
Wanderer case event. Your locals has been playing Wanderer for a bit. Isn't necessarily hyper competitive, but you've got some people who are on the grind and are now in this new Wanderer ban list era. In your experience, you've probably jammed more games than me against a wider breadth of stuff and seen more stuff. What has your impression of the impact the ban list has kind of had on the environment?
It has made all of the Violet players sad.
Okay.
Good.
Because that was probably like the main entry deck for a while, because Dan would clap the cheeks of everyone with Violet, and then people were like, "Oh hey, can I borrow the deck and try it out?" And then they would like start clapping cheeks with Violet, and they were like, "Hey, I like this deck. I'm gonna build my own version of it. I'm gonna get my own copies." And then I started running Ice Shackles in the main. They all started to cry, and then they got the ban hammer, and they're also like crying. So, um, so we'll have to see. There is talk of pivoting away from Violet, or maybe like adding some things in, or I don't know. I might just have to resolve to be more vile and make my own Violet.
I mean,
That
like,
is-
we'll definitely be building that for the channel. We'll be building like a new
Yeah.
age Violet because there's a lot of space to explore there. Just a real quick blast reality. Turn 3 on average Zeus. I would say that my average lethals for Zeus are like turn 4, turn 5.
4 or
like
5.
my actual consistent lethals are turn 4, turn 5. I have
What if
had
you're going second and
I-
you have the perfect draw, and if you
I have had some high rolls, and my opponent. I have had some high rolls in games where both me and my opponent were just kind of both doing our own thing, where like he wasn't really trying to stop me from doing my thing, but Zeus's thing is being able to stop the opponent. So like when you get into that environment and you have some high rolls, I've found turn 3 lethals. That's not my norm. Especially in games where like I'm playing heavy interaction and my opponent's like really respecting it, which we'll get to in a minute. So just to answer that question, go ahead. It's true. Zeus can't win if it's turn 3 if you Ash Blossom. That's for sure. So
True.
in terms of the game pacing, obviously people are sad about Violet. In terms of the game pacing and stuff like that, and how you've felt games have differed with the ban list, what's kind of gone on like that for you?
So the major deck I've been testing just to have fun with is a variation on Charlie DeMel's Blue Fox list.
Yeah.
And so you'll see that up on the channel soon enough. It was a really good. I was playing against the Typhon deck, and that again, the match is really, really fun to watch. It was like really good back and forth. It was challenging. I didn't necessarily miss Farror's Spell in my list because it got hit. I can't run Setting the Stage and Farror's Spell in the same deck anymore.
Oh, okay.
But it was fine. I had to think, am I going to play Persephone in this Fox list, or am I going to play Lorite? I opted to play Lorite, and it felt like the right decision. So it definitely affected my like reworking of that deck. But in terms of gameplay, it felt very like Fox was already pretty fair in the modern format to begin with. But especially against something like Typhon, it felt even better to just be able to like go back and forth with the different gameplay, and it feels good. Let me just put it like that. It feels good. It feels like good old fashioned like like Grim Cluster Foul.
we talked about how
It's
we were going
always-
to New Age Vow, and now we're just slamming back to Old Age Vow. It's very funny.
Yeah.
I had talked about, I've talked about this with a lot of people. The meta now feels like, because we've taken away the consistent cheese options, decks, there are a lot of very good decks that can play strong foul fundamentals. Like there are a lot of different decks that can just like, this is the bread and butter of what pacing feels like in a good interactive game of FOW. And when you actually look at all the decks that can play in that space, there's actually a really, really huge variety of them, and it's very, very rewarding and counter-challenging and really engaging. The problem with this previous format is that the cheese was just like that little bit more consistent and more effective against those decks, that it was, well, why would I play a deck that can play FOW fundamentals when I can just kill my opponent like super fast? And now it feels like the meta is shifting to where there is still some like stuff to be kind of cautious about, which I think that's card games, right? There's always going to be decks to watch out for. Even those decks still at their core have to be playing fundamentals, which I think creates a more engaging and like opportunistic environment for good experimentation. IU, yep, definitely something I would look at for sure. Are we going to have an Athena video soon? She's the ruler. I'm mainly interested in this set. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I have an Athenia build feature match recorded, probably going to be next week. The thing is, it's going to be a New Frontiers build. However, because that's what my locals plays. However, with the new combination ban list, any list that I build for the channel to play New Frontiers will be Wanderer ban list, will be following the Wanderer ban list, if that makes sense. So I'm going to be playing essentially a New Frontiers take on a deck, so I won't have access to Wanderer cards, but I'm still going to be respecting the ban list of Wanderer, so that when you see the deck list video, it'll translate very easily to Wanderer. Of like, I won't have to think of, oh, is this list unplayable in Wanderer? No, it absolutely will be. Outside of like stones, obviously, because I'm playing a New Frontier, so I'm going to use 6 Sage Stone while I have it, right? But that's an easy like swap. So
put it in Moonshade instead. Easy peasy.
Pretty much just put in Moonshades instead at this point. But I wanted to put that out there. So like the Athenia video we have is New Frontiers, but we are shifting our builds to respect the Wanderer ban list. Am I gonna rock the dragon? Yeah, I've got it. I've got it sleeved up. I just gotta get it recorded. Tata Wolfie, I'm definitely bringing some cheese to the next GP. Like I said, there's definitely cheese out there. Like, you can get creative in the cheese and stuff. It's just not safe. It's just not safe and mindless anymore as it was kind of going into this last event. So I'm excited to see the kind of goofy things that people try to pull off. They're just not going to become like the norm, which I'm totally fine with. How is Kaguya after losing Hanzo? Not great.
Less good.
Less good. Certainly still has some cool tricks up her sleeve. Probably leans heavier into like black Kaguya like she has than she has before. Hanzo actually probably finds a pretty nice place in Deus Ex Machina, especially when you think about the fact that Night of Nights can be used for one will to re-trigger Hanzo's Make a Bunch of Moons effect. So that's the thing. Like, you can still make a bunch of moons off of a Hanzo. Like, it's still very possible. It's just less efficient, and you have to play it in Deus Ex, which is, like, maybe a fair trade-off to keep that card viable. What are you thinking they hit on Zeus? I'm not entirely sure they need to hit anything on Zeus, but if I would hit anything on Zeus, it'd be Artemis. That'd be the card that I would hit.
I think that we need to implement a limited list. That way we can limit all of Zeus's most powerful cards
to only playing one of. Yep.
Right,
sure.
exactly.
Yeah,
it makes it so much less consistent.
That's how we stop him. Yeah, for sure. No, I do think to Rustin, Algernon and Galileo feels very much more in line with what Kaguya is going to be trying to use now. Hanzo finds his way over in Deus Ex.
I got it.
I'm not entirely hey, now don't be spilling Hanzo secrets. Yeah, I'm not entirely certain. Like, I will go on record that I think that if I wanted to try to be the problem at the next GP, I'd probably be on Zeus.
And if you're trying to beat the problem, main deck 4 of those
Black
two
Witches.
blue. No, the two blue spell from EDL. Steal the card from the top 7.
Insatiable desire for treasure. Yeah,
yes, thank you.
For sure. Zeus
That's a 4 of.
Zeus only has like 3 cancels. Like, you're probably going to resolve at least 2 of them, and that could
Big
be
time,
great.
Yeah. If you're playing TSW, you just play it on turn 1.
Ew. Well, that's gross. That's gross. But like,
think about it, Jeremy.
but like,
think about it.
I'm thinking about
Think.
it. But yeah, it's like, I'm not. Nothing in my mind at this point already has me thinking about the next ban list from my experience and with my playing of stuff. There's nothing in my mind that has already there's already things that I have on a potential watch list, but I have zero data outside of me just jamming games and people speculating on Discord, right? So I just need to see GP stuff. Do you think they'll eventually ban Moonshade? Probably not, to be perfectly honest. And here's why. Because when we were playing in the pop-off, so we were playing in the turn 0 to 1.5 format, Moonshade was irrelevant, right? Because your life total was either alive or dead. But when you shift off to being like a turn 4, 5, 6 format, life matters. Starts to matter at that point.
When aggro decks start to matter.
Like, so Moonshade is also suddenly like, like I have played some games against people where they hit quad Moonshade, and I'm like, that feels real rough as we're going into turn 4.
Yeah.
Like, that feels real rough if you want to try to take actions.
You're playing 4 Moonshade in a deck that wants to go into like the mid game, you're not playing the game right.
Yeah, it's definitely like,
it's like
it's
the
very
anti-Zig
interesting.
Sage Stone.
It's very interesting. So yeah, it's a cool world. The cards. So let's talk about decks that we expect to see. Like I said, I expect to see Zeus. I expect to see Athenia. I expect to see Typhon. I expect to see people try Deus Ex. I see people expect to try to do red-green Prisia, Dark Tree, different versions of Fallen Angels. I expect people to still try to play like Almerius Grus Ballesta, or Almerius Mylist, like for more aggro builds.
Turbo flip.
I expect to see people still trying to play Violet. I honestly kind of really like Olivia in this format.
You're just trying to make Paul happy, Jeremy. Stop that.
I kind of think
stop giving him hope.
I think that, so
I've done very well with Olivia, actually.
Yeah, so to kind of World Gang, Wolfgang 2, I really like.
Yes, Wolfgang 2.
World Gang feels very, very good.
Wolfgang 1. I'm gonna be experimenting with Wolfgang 1 because I think that
Wolfgang 1.
This slower format, I have an idea.
Interesting.
And it's a bad idea, but it's gonna work.
It's great. There's this world where, so we talked about last format, as before we get into specific kind of card interactions that I think people just need to be aware of. We talked about last format how before we really started to see all the cheese decks come out, there was this concept of like, look at tier 2 and up as being could top 8 an event. Charlie XD had a great conversation of like, anything that I put in C tier and above are things that I think could top 8 an event. Maybe not win, and maybe not always top 8, but like have some, like, you could experiment and learn in that space, right? The problem is then we had the pop-off T0 decks, and they very quickly shifted that and narrowed the card pool. It was still, like, we still had a lot of good options, but it was narrowed down to like 5 or 6, like really got narrow really, really quick. With the new ban list, not only I think has that expansion of tier C and up happened, like I think that there's more things that I would consider to be in that tier C and up category, but also the big threats that worked to really hyper narrow the top end, I think have been addressed as well. Again, tiers exist for a reason. There are some decks that I think are just ones to watch out for, but they're not hyper pop-offs, which means there's more chance for interaction and strong play to be successful. Like, it's not just, oh, I played the brainless kill you on turn 1. For sure. Dante Belial till you get your face stomped in this K-Split tournament. Wolfgang 2.
With no Virgil.
Yeah,
Sad.
with no Virgil. Yeah, rip. So let's talk about that.
Virgil.
So things to consider. Sorry.
Or went out for Virgil.
Things. There's 4 things in my mind that I think are the questions to be answering, or things that you like have to be considering in your deck builds as you go into this event. First off is for Black Witch. Literally, I don't care what you're playing. Like, play 4 Blackridge. Find a way to play 4 Blackridge because Zeus is the boogeyman of the format for sure. And a well-protected Black Witch can really disrupt that deck, especially in the hands of someone who maybe isn't as practiced, or the inevitable law
Are we boring you, Jeremy?
No, or the invariable law of variance gives them a bad hand, right? So Black Witch can actually just really shut that down. Secondly, the second question is Origin of the 7 lands plus Drywing, or be a deck that doesn't care about Drywing. Drywing does a lot of but you can't play 4 Black Witch because you're trying to play Zeus. Play ways to answer 4 Black Witch. Like
Play a better ruler.
The reverse option of that is like be ready to deal with 4 Black Witch. The second one is Origin of the 7 lands plus Drywing, either utilizing it and recognizing the impact that it has, or playing a deck that doesn't care about it. In the sense that, like, if your opponent reveals a Drywing, you don't care. Because the threat going into this format before, we had so many decks that were trying to cheat mana in so many different ways, not just recovering of stones, but like actually cheating, producing mana, that were such a core linchpin of their deck construction that if your opponent reveals a Drywing right now off an Origin of the 7 lands, your deck turns off. Right? So, like, one, you just can't be building your deck like that anymore because you can't just open yourself up to an uninteractable shutdown floodgate. Like, you just can't risk that. And you also need to recognize, like, do I have room in my deck to be playing Origin of the 7 lands? To be able to make this Drywing. Some decks are not, right? I've been toying around with decks that have been using it, and I've been toying around with decks that aren't. And it's not like absolutely you have to play one way or the other. It's just a question you have to be able to like investigate and answer for yourself when you're building your deck, because it's a really important conversation. What if Fow dropped the mulligan? Nope. I love the mulligan of Fow.
I would literally play less than I do now.
Third question is a question of keywords. And it's specifically, can you find a way to put Eternal in your deck? Something with Eternal in your deck. Because specifically a creature with Eternal, if you can help it.
Able. Normal.
Because, yeah, those kinds of things. Because most of the Typhon strats, at least at this point in time, we see them revolving around antibodies. And stuff with Eternal is a real hindrance to that. So just something for you to keep in mind. And the last one is have Banish. You got to have Untargeting Banish in this format. It's like really, really, really important to include in your deck, to have ways to force your opponent to banish stuff.
Jeremy, pop quiz.
Because we have a lot of stuff with Eternal. Go figure. Including additions that also have barrier. So like you need Banish in this format.
So Jeremy, what's the fastest way to get battle comes to an end and call Typhon's antibodies?
What's the fastest way to do it? Be on the coin. Be on the coin and drop Typhon's Blood. That's 3. Cool. That's 3 will.
Easy.
There you go.
You heard it here first, folks.
Does Drywing affect the Regalia rulers? It'll affect the Regalia.
Sure will.
Origin and Heart to Heart talk next bans. I don't think so.
Heart to Heart talk's already banned. You can't play it with Violet. Might as well just throw it in the dumpster.
You play it in World Gang. It's very good in World Gang.
So you might as well throw it in the dumpster, right?
We just talked about how World Gang is playable.
So might as well throw it in the dumpster. I played a lot of World Gang. If there's 4 Black Witches in the game,
next set Heart to Heart will be broke. So the idea there is next set Heart to Heart with the Moon Children is 1 free will a turn. I literally just talked about the fact that we have a card that says that's not a thing. So like, I don't think Heart to Heart is going to be banned with Moon Children, because Drywing will literally go, that's cute, and then moon
Wow,
children
that's
don't,
really
and then
that's
your
really
moon
cute,
children
honey.
can't do anything.
That's really cute, honey. We'll put your mana production right here on the fridge.
Yeah, for sure. Or you know what else is a card that could really also screw over those guys? Shackles of Ice.
Wow.
Because they're god art, will abilities that are all activate abilities on a ruler. So you can just go Shackles of Ice and you can just turn them off.
Jeremy, you're whispering a lot. Can you stop with the ASMR today?
Oh, I'm sorry. Typhon's Blood is not only for machines. Yep. Typhon's Blood is just 1 black. Heart to Heart. Bouncing. The problem with bouncing is that there are stuff that we have that is in this format that has Eternal and Barrier. That's the problem there. Like Banish is
targeting bouncing, and then they just replay it. Huh.
Yeah, so you just
Wow.
you need to force banishes in this environment. I have my mouse on Paul. Yep, my mouse is just floating on Paul's face. I tickle your nose. Yeah, so those,
okay.
in my opinion, those are the things to kind of consider as we go into this environment. Paul, do you have any thoughts about if I missed anything, or
In terms of like viable decks,
not necessarily viable decks,
or
but like cards to think about, to either be ready to answer or to consider adding into your list as we go into this kind of unknown tournament scene?
Considering you've built many more decks and seen many more decks than I have, because I didn't get to play last weekend.
Fair.
What I will say is just be prepared for the rogue deck matchups to be varied, especially in Force of Will. Y'all love your rogue decks. If y'all don't want to play meta, you won't.
Yeah, very true.
And now, so many decks are a lot more viable. I mean, the B, A, and S tiers are significantly different than they were just even a couple of weeks ago. So, plan for Zeus, plan for Typhon, plan for the new stuff that's going to be really good, and then just honestly look at the stuff that's decent. Fox, for instance, would be decent. Think
Let's
of
be
how
very
you're
clear
going to
about
stop
something
that.
as well. Let's be very clear about something. Prisium might be banned alongside Welser, but she is still a playable card.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh
So
yeah,
you can Prisia box the entire format away. Like, Witch Prisia sounds like it's going to be a disgusting deck, in my opinion.
yes.
Like, it doesn't matter that you can't Prisia into Prisia into Prisia anymore. You could just Prisia into the best card in your deck. We saw how good Hungry Box was when you have that kind of versatility in a game where you could just kind of churn that out. Jeremy, who came up with the name for Hungry Box again? Who ended up?
You did.
I did.
I didn't want to call it that, but then it did so well that I was just like, yeah, this is the name. Okay. You're going to have to do a tier list on all rulers for competitive view.
I could do that. That's super easy. Here, let me put the dumpster down here. Here's about 100 rulers, and then here's what comes up to the top.
Prisia is a playable card that everyone has been cheating with since it came out. Technically, yes, that's true. That because of the CR change, functionally, we've just been playing Prisia wrong for nearly a year.
FAP players literally cannot read things that don't exist.
But you cannot
Crazy.
read it into Prisia. Yes, for sure.
Well, luckily you can Prisia into Black Witch, into Black Witch, into Black Witch, into Pumpkin Witch, and swing.
That's true. Do I think
Luckily,
there
you
are
can do that.
primes? Do I think there are any cards primed to be unbanned? True Blade, probably at this point, is the only card on the ban list that I think would be unbanned.
I hate when people say that.
Or, and hear me out, because they've opened the door for it.
Jeremy, don't say it.
Shifting Sherry from a ban to a combo ban with Ruined Story. I said maybe, not advocating for it in any way, shape, or form. But I am saying that, like, maybe everyone is just so mad at me. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. We have combo bans if Carlina's banned. Just combo ban her with fucking Belial and Astamon, you're fine. What does she do?
So you just played Carlina Dante.
For what? For Chili's? That guy's banned.
I mean, there's still very good cards that kill your rulers fast, and you play Satan Turbo. I disagree with the two of you on that. I think Carlina deserves to stay banned.
The two of you, I don't know what you're. I'm shaking my head this whole time.
Okay, yeah. So you agree with me that Carlina
Shift Sherry off the bat. No, shift
Give
Carlina
me
off.
back, Bitey Lady.
No. New Bitey Lady resonator.
We already have like 4 different tag ruler bans on the combination ban list. Just delete tag. I don't know.
Make you play Carlina by herself.
I
Tag does not exist.
Even then.
I can see Gretel and Ionar summons being a combo ban.
I don't think Gretel can ever come off the list unless you specifically take her straight to a 9 Harrier summon unban. Yeah, maybe.
That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe.
I think I could abuse the shit out
or like
of
a
her
Captain
still.
Hook
I could make it
and
happen. It's fine.
Captain Hook and Telefairy Tale ban.
I'm one of the things that like I don't really want anything off of the ban list at this point, because anything that I would take off is like something that I wouldn't even be like I'm just kind of like let it die. I'm not like hungry to bring it back, if that makes any kind of sense. It's more of a conversation of like, well, yeah, I guess. It's never really like yeah, this card should come off. It's more like, I guess. So what's the CR on Priscia? So it's been currently confirmed that while a card is searching for a card from the deck to bring into field, unless that card is specifically saying an alternative card. Hold on one second.
We'll never know now.
Once the card is saying an alternative card, you cannot move it from the deck to the field. So there are cards like Keep the Faith where it says, or you may put the Resonator part of this card into the field if it is 1 cost or lower. Like that card would be a really good instance of how Priscia should be read now. Any questions? Free Stratos. I agree. Stratos of 4. Let's go.
Stratos did nothing wrong.
It's true.
Loophole unban the 6 Sage of Stone for the rules who actually needed it to compete with the speed of modern rulers. How do you do that? You just say if the card is bad, you can play 6 Sage of Stone in the deck? I don't know.
Loophole unban.
That's basically just I'd rather just ban it from being used with rulers that are good. There's less of those.
Yeah. Or just lower the speed of the format, so you don't have to have an unhealthy and polarizing card like 6 Sage Stone in the format to begin with.
I mean, also just leave it banned because that card was one of the most terribly designed cards ever created. But that's just
my
me.
goodness. Yeah. If your ruler has tag, recover it. Still wouldn't do it.
If your ruler has tag, you win the game. That's basically what you did when you're playing Feet Sing.
That's the purpose, yes. Oh my goodness. Well, this leader had to like run off to the bathroom or something.
I'm banned from
Bell.
Lapis Cluster and before. That's a really generous man.
Oh my goodness. So I guess at this point, like, what do y'all want to see? Does that also work with reanimating targeting alternative cards?
Man, I don't read rules.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna invoke Charlie. But I'm guessing.
Let the spirit of Charlie take you over. Just I'm 6'5". Anyway.
My voice isn't low enough to be Charlie.
It really isn't.
It's really not. Like the only person's voice who's lower than mine is probably Charlie. So yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know whose voice is works. Yours or Charlie's? Charlie, real quick in the chat, can you say something so that we can hear your voice and see how low it is compared to Paul's?
We need to compare notes right now.
Yeah, I would like to take some notes. Thank you.
Oh my
Rustin,
god.
you also feel like Hanzo should have just banned. I feel like half that list should have just been banned. But that's just me. I'm just a man who appreciates simple bans. Just like Atomic Turbulence.
Ho.
Hey yo.
Much Taco Bell?
No, it wasn't. It was dealing with a child.
Oh, okay.
Children.
Wall of Wind. Yeah.
Let's
No.
see. Pretty Stratos.
Yeah, why not?
Only one of
did we
only
talk
one of
about-
the three trifecta.
Did
Oh, what's
did we talk about? Did you guys go through the ruling for Persia?
Persia thing? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you
Yes.
it. Okay, great.
I will challenge. Bring it on. Voice
That's the
off.
same as Great
Are you,
Badass from
Bob,
Black.
you better be at FowFest. We will voice off.
He's gonna be at FowFest. He's gonna be your co-commentator for FowFest.
You guys can have the voice off in the commentating?
Yeah.
The chat can tell us what to say, and then they can vote in the chat as to who has
Lower
the
or
deeper
higher?
voice.
There you go.
Or
And
they
we have
vote you go
our own
lower or they vote you go higher?
So that being said, I don't know if there's anything else that we really have to say here. So we can reanimate alt cards, unless you can target a resonator part. Yes, correct. Correct. So
No dance
So-
is a little bit of a surprise.
it
I
is a
agree.
little bit of a surprise. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. All in all, kind of closing thoughts. Ban list continues to be good. Meta continues to be Wild West. Definitely things that you need to be mindful of, but by no means should you feel forced to play a certain deck by any means at this point, because there is a lot of
Unless it's
really cool
Prego
stuff.
2K, which you should be playing.
You should not. But we will see you all again. Please go sign up for our Discord event on June 18th for the case split, as well as potentially drive to our event on July 7th for a case split. But even if you can't make the July 7th event, go check out the Minnesota GP in July as well. We will be there, looking forward to that. And then put November 5th and 6th on your calendar over in Kalamazoo for Fow Fest 2. We'll see you there. Fow has a festival. We're hosting it.
I would hope so.
It's very much in theme with the Ruler School. It's the Ruler School Fow Festival. Like you have the sports festival at a Japanese high school. Theming, branding, hooray! You can find that information in the
Marketing.
description down below. So that being said, we're gonna close it here for tonight. So thank you all so much for being here. As always, I am DMO73, and I've been joined by Paul Reisman
Hello and goodbye.
and Mike Rants,
Combination ban list is good and bad.
saying class dismissed. Have a good night, everybody.